This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone had a wonderful time at Talkedah. So, there's a big discussion. What is the state bird of Alaska? Well, officially the state bird is the willow targaman. However, we've come to learn the state bird of Alaska is the mosquito. And there's a question, why does Alaska have so many mosquitoes? Well, firstly, it has mild temperatures, a lot of precipitation, marshland, lakes, and here's the real reason. Because of the permafrost, the water can never drain, so everything is basically marsh. So, in light of being in the land of the mosquito, let's talk about a very interesting halacha. Are you allowed to kill mosquitoes on Yom Tif that are bothering you? You're out in the sukkah, and there's a mosquito, nasty mosquito. He wants your blood. He's going for the jugular. Are you allowed to kill a mosquito on Yom Tif? Now on Shabbos, obviously you can't kill the mosquito. What malacha is it? The tilas neshama is shchita. But what about on Yom Tif? Should we say mitoich shehutra shchita l'tzorech hutra nami shaloi l'tzorech? Mishnah Berurah writes in Siman Tav Kuf Yud Ches that the same way we say mitoich shehutra hoitza l'tzorech hutra nami shaloi l'tzorech, mitoich applies to cooking, to baking, and to shchita as well. So is one allowed to kill a mosquito on Yom Tif? Says Rav Ruderman, it is permitted to kill a mosquito on Yom Tif, and that is how Rav Shmuel Kamenetsky paskins, that it is permitted to kill a mosquito on Yom Tif. But what's interesting is, Rav Yaakov Kamenetsky said, not so fast. Rav Yaakov writes, it's printed in the Yemes Yaakov and Shulchan Aruch, Siman Tav Kuf Yud Ches, even though there's a svara to say mitoich, and you should be allowed to kill a bee, gnat, a mosquito. Rav Yaakov says, Lamaisa Tzorachian. Rav Shlomo Zalman says, no. Rav Shlomo Zalman says you cannot kill a mosquito on Yom Tif. First of all, he says that the whole mitoich would be debatable. Because whenever you're using mitoich, it's just like something is permitted for a need of food, something would be permitted for any need. But says Rav Shlomo Zalman, there's no positive need to kill the mosquito. It's davar shemafriya, it's something that's bothering you. Removing a nuisance is not considered necessarily a tzairach. And it could be, says Rav Shlomo Zalman, that Chazal never permitted it, because you'd only be allowed to kill a mosquito that's really bothering you. And where that guideline would be, where the threshold would be, could you kill a mosquito that's 3 feet away from you? It's not bothering you yet. No, that you can't kill. So, nasata dvarech l'shiurim, it would be very difficult to have a threshold of which mosquitoes would meet the threshold of annoyance that you'd be allowed to kill them. So, I just want to point out, just to conclude, what about killing mosquitoes in general? On a Tuesday, on a Wednesday? Rav Moshe writes in Igros Moshe and Even HaEzer Chelek Dalet that even though halachically any human need, one is allowed to violate Tzar Baalei Chayim. In other words, any time there's a human need, one could use an animal for any purpose. Nevertheless, Rav Moshe says there's another issue over here. And that issue is, we find by Ir Hanidachas that the Bezdin, who has to take the lives of those who served Avodah Zarah in the Ir Hanidachas, the Torah says, V'nasata l'cha rachamim v'richamcha. Where the Torah says, even though you're taking the life of the evildoer, we're going to engender mercy within you. It says, Moshe, why do we need to engender mercy within the court? The court is following the prescribed procedure. It says, Moshe, from here we see that whenever someone takes a life, even when necessary, there's a danger of engendering the midah of achzarias, and therefore the Torah has to say, you need to do this, and we'll safeguard your character trait of rachmanas. Rav Moshe says this is not needed by shchita. By shchita, there's a mitzvah to shecht. So the mitzvah to shecht, you don't need to safeguard, we don't have to worry, maybe the shoichet will become an achzar. But says Rav Moshe, whenever possible, one should avoid killing an insect bekum va'aseh, straight out. Rabbi Moshe says whenever possible, never to kill any Baal Chai. Better to leave a trap, better to leave some kind of bee trap, mosquito trap, spray, but to kill any living thing with your own hands, Rabbi Moshe says even though halachically it's permitted, miderach hamusar, it's better to avoid. So when you're in the land of the mosquito, it's very important to know hilchos mosquitoes.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.